Hi guys, welcome to Medical Megamind channel. In this video, I am going to discuss the retina. In this video, I will discuss what is meant by retina and layers of retina, and finally the details of rods and cones, little bit of blood supply of retina and its clinical importance. So, what is meant by retina? Retina is the light sensitive portion of the eye which contain rods and cones. These rods and cones are light sensitive receptors. They are actually the neurons, they are modified into receptors for the light. What is meant by retina? Retina is the light sensitive portion of eye, okay, which contains rods and cones. These rods and cones are light sensitive receptors. Actually, these are neurons and they are modified to become light sensitive receptors. So, this is the meaning of retina. Now, layers of retina. See this diagram. I will take a section in this area and view here. Okay. The first is sclera. Okay. Sclera. I will not write the sclera and choroid layer. I will write only the layers of retina. This is the retina, and I will write the layer. Okay. The first layer of the retina is the pigmented layer. So this is the pigmented layer, which is the epithelium which is pigmented with melanin. Okay. This is the pigmented layer. And the second layer is the rods and cones layer. Okay. You know, the rod is slender rod shaped cell. This is the rod. And this is the cone. I'm writing the diagrammatic representation. Okay. And you know, in both rods and cones, this is the outer segment which consists of disc. These discs are membrane infolds. Okay. This is the outer segment, and this is the inner segment which consists of mitochondria. Okay. And this also. This is the inner segment, this is the outer segment, and this is the nucleus. And this final part is synaptic body. Okay, just remember. And this layer is called, this only outer segment of rods and cones constitutes the which layer? Layer of rods and cones. Now here comes the nucleus. Okay, the next layer is outer nuclear layer, which contains only nucleus. Okay, this layer is the which contains nuclei of rods and cones. This layer is outer nuclear layer. And again, there are cells. These cells are called horizontal cells because they lie horizontally and they give fibers which connects the, what is this? Synaptic body of the rods and cones. Of course, they will extend in this direction also. Now, this forms a plexus. Okay, plexus means network of nerve fibers. Okay, and these are bipolar cells, and this also. Bipolar cells. The axons of or terminals of the bipolar cells and horizontal cells and synaptic body of the rods and cones forms a plexus, that is nerve fibers, group network of nerve fibers. This is called outer plexiform layer. Again, see here, there are cells called amacrine cells, like this. And finally, the Golgi cells, ganglionic cells, sorry. So, this is rod, cone, horizontal cell. This is bipolar cell. This is amacrine cell. And this is ganglion cell. Ganglion cell. Okay. Now, this outer plexiform layer is over. Okay. Now, see here, there are only nuclei. You can find many nuclei. Nucleus of bipolar cells, nucleus of horizontal cell, nucleus of amacrine cells. So, this layer is called inner nuclear layer. Okay. Now, see here, the fiber of ganglion cell, the fibers of amacrine cells, the fibers of bipolar cells forms a network here. This network of nerve fibers, again called as inner plexiform layer. Okay. Plexus means nothing but network of nerve fibers. Inner plexiform layer. Okay. Now finally, come to this layer. The fibers of ganglion cells goes to the optic nerve. Okay. And these are the fibers which contributes to the optic nerve. Again, this layer is called optic layer, optic nerve layer. And these are the ganglion cells, right? And these ganglion cell bodies forms another layer that is called ganglionic layer. Now there are totally 8 important layers and 2 limiting layers. Inner limiting layer, outer limiting layer, which passes across the rods and cones. Okay. So this is the order in which the layers are arranged in retina. Okay. But there is exception in fovea. Okay. See here, when light enters the pupil and strikes the retina, see here, in this also, this is the innermost layer, right? This is the innermost layer. This is also the innermost layer zoomed in. Here, light enters, and to reach the rods and cones, light has to pass all these layers. Okay. So there is impedance or opposition to the light travel through these areas. So the strength of the light decreases. Because of this impedance, the visual acuity in the rest of the retina, except fovea, is less. Visual acuity means ability to recognize the shape and every details of object you see. Okay. visual acuity is less in retina. Now comes to the fovea. In fovea, there is little bit weird arrangement. Okay, these layers are not arranged in this order. The layers like ganglionic layer, inner plexiform layer, inner nuclear layer, they are arranged in sides rather than being arranged directly on the rods and cones. See here, these layers are arranged on the rods and cones, right? But in fovea, these layers are arranged in sides so that the light falls on the rods and cones almost directly. This increases the visual acuity in fovea. Now, details of rods and cones. See this diagram. These are rods. Rod. This is cone. So, what is the thing that makes these to call as rod and cone is the shape of the outer segment. That's it. I said this is the outer segment, this is the inner segment, this is the nucleus portion, and this is the synaptic body. Okay, the shape of the outer segment decides the which cell it is. Okay, if this is rod shaped, slender rod shaped, then it is called rod cell. If the shape of the outer segment is in the cone shape, then it is cone. See here, these are the discs. Of course, this also, these are nothing but membrane infoldings. Okay, this is the outer segment which contain what? Discs. These are membrane infoldings, membrane foldings. What is the speciality of outer segment? It contains the light sensitive photopigments. Okay, contains photopigments, pigments. So these are light sensitive photopigments. There are in total four light sensitive photopigments. One is present in rod and three are present in cones. Okay, four in number. One present in rod, that is called rhodopsin. Remember, in each photopigments has two constituents. Okay, one is retinine. Retinine is common in all four photopigments, but another constituent, that is opsin, differs. Because of that difference in opsin, there are four different photopigments. This is the rhodopsin present in rods. What is the constituents? Retinine or retinal, NaL you can call. Retinine 1 plus what? Opsin. Particularly the type of opsin present in the rhodopsin is scotopsin. Okay, scotopsin. And rhodopsin is also called as visual purple. Now, there is spectral sensitivity. Okay, this rhodopsin pigment is sensitive to the light whose wavelength is 500 nanometer. Okay, just remember the number, that's it. Now, I said there are three photopigments, light sensitive photopigments that are present in cones. All these three are called color pigments. You know, cones are active in active towards color vision, but rods are active towards dim dark vision. Remember this thing. All the pigments that are present in cones are called as color pigments. Okay, and these are of three types, right? I said there are three. One, green or red, green, blue, RGB. Okay, these are the color pigments present in cones. Accordingly, the cones are called as red cone, green cone, blue cone. Okay, now these are the photopigments. Of course, as I said, retinine is present in all the four pigments, but opsin differs. The slight difference in opsin causes the different photopigments. Okay, retinine is common. I will write retinine is common. Only opsin differs. What is the opsin in the rhodopsin? That is scotopsin. Remember. And these red cones are active or sensitive towards the light, which is of wavelength 560 nanometer, and this green is sensitive towards 530 nanometer, and this is 430. Now, so outer segment is over, and this is the inner segment. You know, inner segment is nothing but usual cytoplasm, contains usual cytoplasm with cell organelles, particularly mitochondria. Okay, because these are necessary for what? Energy for these photoreceptors. This is the inner segment. Now, nucleus, and this segment is synaptic body or synaptic segment, synaptic body, which contains neurotransmitters. Okay, synaptic body, and these ends in bipolar cells, horizontal cells, like that. Okay, and forms synapse. This is the detail of rods and cones. Now I will differentiate rods and cones. Okay, see here, rods, cones, differentiation, so that you will understand better. First difference is these are active in dark and dim light. Remember this thing. You may think, as I said, these are active in dark, so the pigment present in rods, that is rhodopsin, is sensitive to dark. Not like that. All the photopigments are sensitive to light only, but their activity differs. Rhodopsin, which is present in rods, is active in dim and dark light. Simple. So these rods are active in dim and dark light. Active. Okay, but cones are active in color light. Okay, they are responsible for color vision. Now, as I said, the photopigments are light sensitive photopigments are is rhodopsin. Light sensitive photopigments are, because there are three, right? Color pigments. Their name itself is color pigments. Of course, there are three, red, green, blue, RGB, color pigments. Now, the third difference is the rods are responsible for the vision in low light condition, but cones are responsible for the vision in well lit condition. So these have special names, that is low light condition. The vision is by rods, and this vision has separate name called scotopic vision. Scotopic vision. You can remember, right? Like RS, rainstorm, rods, scotopic. Or you can remember in another way. You know, the pigment of rod is rhodopsin, which consists of retinine and opsin. The opsin is particularly scotopsin. Scotopsin, scotopic vision. Okay. Low light condition, remember. And well lit condition means the light is more. Condition, vision is by, in this condition, vision is by cones. And this vision by cones has separate name called photopic vision. Pic vision. The memory trick is RS. Other you can remember. RS. You know, this is the pigmented layer of retina, right? It plays a very crucial role in order to increase or maintain the visual acuity. Okay, see here. The pigmented layer role. Layer. Okay. It plays a crucial role in maintaining the visual acuity. The pigmented layer consists of melanin pigment. Okay. What is the specialty of this melanin is it absorbs the light. Okay. See here. This is the eyeball. Okay. This is the retina. This portion is retina. And when light passes through the pupil and strikes the retina, it should not reflect. Okay. And it is absorbed by the melanin present in the retina. Okay. Absorbs light. See here. After the light reaching the rods and cones, the remaining light should be absorbed in the pigmented layer which contains melanin. Okay, the remaining light should not be reflected. I will say why. So, it should be absorbed. See this scenario. If the light which entered the pupil and struck the retina, if the remaining light after the utilization of rods and cones, if the remaining light is reflected like this, again reflected like this, so instead of activating one receptor, many receptors, photoreceptors are activated, and the whole inside eyeball, the whole area is covered with diffused light. This results in activation of many receptors that will not give a proper image. Okay, visual acuity decreases. In this, visual acuity is perfect. So the role of pigmented layer is the melanin present in the pigmented layer absorbs the extra light and it won't allow the extra light to reflect. Okay, what is the main function? We will not allow light to reflect at multiple points. Okay, this is the importance of pigmented layer. You know, in albino patients, the melanin is absent in all over the body. Okay, melanin is absent. What happens in them? If they are exposed to the bright light, their visual acuity will decrease. Okay, even after the optical correction, their visual acuity is very less. Okay, albino patient suffers. No person which lacks hereditary lacking of melanin pigment. Okay, in the pigmented layer. Absence of melanin. So their visual acuity is less because of diffused light inside the eyeball. Okay, because of multiple reflection. Visual acuity. is less. Now I will discuss the blood supply of retina. Okay, the blood supply and little bit clinical condition related to the blood supply. Retina receives the blood and nutrients from two sources. Okay, so consider this diagram. This is the retinal layer. I will write the I am writing the section. Okay, this is the layer of optic nerve. Okay, this is the layer of optic nerve. Just now that the retina is supplied by central retinal artery, which passes inside the optic nerve. Okay, this is the optic nerve. Okay, inside the optic nerve, central retinal artery passes, and their branches gives blood supply to the retina like this. What is this layer? This is the, what is this layer? Layer of optic nerve. Optic nerve. Now, you know, this is the choroid layer, and the final most layer is sclera. This is sclera, and this is choroid. Remember, choroid is highly vascular. Okay, it is supplied with more number of blood vessels. So now these are the rods and these are the cones. Okay, the imaginary line, let us imagine a line which passes this thing. Okay, actually this imaginary line is outer limiting layer. Okay, which passes across the rods and cone, and this layer, this region of retina, which is outside the, what is this layer? Outer limiting layer, as I discussed previously. This region of retina is supplied by the choroid. Okay, choroid layer, because the choroid is highly vascular. Diffusion across this will supply nutrients to this part of retina, and remaining this part, which consists of all the layers, that is outer plexiform layer, outer nuclear layer, inner nuclear layer, inner plexiform layer, all are supplied by branches of central retinal artery. Okay, now this is the blood supply of retina. Now there is one condition in which this layer, this neural layer, will become separated from the choroid. Okay, all these are neural layers of retina. Okay, layers. Okay, if there is injury to eye, one cause is separation. Okay, this clinical condition is retinal detachment, means separation of retina. Look here, this neural layer of retina is separated from the choroid. This is choroid and this is sclera. Okay, choroid and sclera. This is the retina, and this retina will be separated from the choroid and sclera. What are the causes? One cause, it may be the injury to eye in accidents like that. Injury to eye. Another one is, see here, this is the retina, right? This is the vitreous humor. Inside the vitreous humor, there is fine collagenous fibrils. Contraction of those fibrils causes inward pull. Okay, contraction of collagenous fibers causes inward pull of retina. This also causes the separation of retina from choroid. Okay, contraction, one of the causes, contraction of fine collagenous fibrils in what? Vitreous humor. Now, if retina is detached from the choroid, what happens? Blood supply to this area is deprived. Okay, which area? The area outside to the what? Outer limiting layer. But the blood supply to this area remains intact, right? Because it is supplied by the central retinal artery. It is supplied by central retinal artery. This will remain intact, but this will become deprived. What happens if this is not surgically corrected within days? Okay, retina will not degenerate because blood supply from central retinal artery remain intact. Only this portion is deprived from blood. Of course, diffusion occurs from this layer to this layer. That's why retina remains alive. But if it is not surgically corrected within days, then damage to the retina occur, leads to blindness. Okay. If correct, what is this? The retina will not degenerate for days. For few days. Due to what? Intact, due to intact blood supply from central retinal artery. Intact blood supply from central retinal artery. It should be corrected surgically. Okay. If this is not surgically corrected, then retina will damage permanently. That leads to blindness. Okay, this completes the retina. Thank you guys. Please subscribe to my channel for more medical videos. Bye guys, until next time.